Imagine a world where God's power was defied by fallen angels, whose wickedness knew no bounds. Their hubris led them to challenge the divine order, their thirst of power driving them to unimaginable extremes. What horrifying acts could they have committed that warranted such a drastic punishment? He rebelled against God and tempted mankind to sin, but he wasn't alone. The Bible tells us that 1/3 of all angels followed him in his rebellion, but there were some fallen ones who sinned even more than Lucifer, whose punishment was merely banishment from heaven with the eternal torment of their choice. These giant babies were a physical manifestation of the fallen angels' corruption and their desire to defile the human race. By mixing their angelic DNA with human DNA, they created beings who were strong and violent, causing them to devour everything in sight. The Bible describes the Nephilim as being so large that the earth trembled beneath their feet. This size and strength were not just physical attributes, but also symbolized the overwhelming presence of evil that they represented. The final judgment mentioned in these passages refers to the ultimate fate of these fallen angels. They remind us of the danger of straying from the path of righteousness and the importance of remaining faithful to divine teachings. By understanding the fate of these angels, we are encouraged to choose holiness and obedience over sin and rebellion. It signifies that their punishment is not meant to be endless, but rather that one day they will be brought before a divine court to face the consequences of their actions. According to many theologians and scholars, these fallen angels are still held captive beneath the surface of our planet, awaiting their final judgment. They believe that these angels may be trying to break free from their confinement and that their attempts could be causing these unusual occurrences. Others argue that these fallen angels are still chained beneath the earth as a form of punishment, and that they will remain there until the end of time. This belief is based on the idea that God is just and that these angels deserve to be punished for their sins. This belief is supported by various religious texts, including the Book of Enoch and other ancient texts that discuss the existence of fallen angels, and it is often used to explain various events that have occurred throughout history. Some Christians believe that the release of these angels will be a sign of the end times, and that it should be heeded as a warning. Others believe that these angels are already among us and that they are disguised as humans. While there is no direct evidence in the Bible that these angels are still on earth, the idea that they are imprisoned beneath the surface is a popular belief among certain groups. As we reflect on their story, let us remember the importance of staying true to our beliefs and resisting the temptations of sin. The fate of the fallen angels should serve as a warning to us all, reminding us that even the most powerful beings can succumb to the allure of evil if they abandon the principles of goodness and righteousness. For angels will be released when the Euphrates dries up. These angels are believed to be responsible for bringing destruction and chaos to the earth, and their release will signal the beginning of the end times. Do you believe these fallen ones are still alive beneath us? Could the strange earthquakes and sounds deep underground be connected? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for future updates. Are we living in the days when the chains begin to loosen? It is believed that these angels will possess human bodies and disguise themselves as humans in order to carry out their mission. They will deceive many people and lead them astray, causing them to turn away from God and embrace darkness. Ultimately, these angels will be defeated and cast into the lake of fire, but not before causing great suffering and destruction. In addition to the belief that fallen angels will be released during the end times, there is another belief that angels will be set free when the Euphrates River dries up. The fallen angels represent the ultimate corruption. The story of the fallen angels and their punishment serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the dangers of straying from the path of righteousness. Their presence on earth symbolizes the epitome of corruption, and their punishment is a testament to the consequences of abandoning one's heavenly duties. This belief is based on the book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 12, which states, "And the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared." This passage suggests that the drying up of the Euphrates River will allow for the kings of the east to prepare for battle. Many Christians believe that these fallen angels will be released from their prison during the end times and will be allowed to roam the earth once again. This belief is based on various biblical passages including Revelation chapter 9, verses 1 to 11, which describes the release of demons during the Great Tribulation period. According to this passage, 5 months into the tribulation, a star named Abaddon or Apollyon will fall from heaven and be granted the key to the abyss. The abyss is believed to be a place where demons and fallen angels are imprisoned, and once the key is handed over, the demons will be released to wreak havoc on the earth. At this judgment, their chains will be removed and they will be dealt with according to the gravity of their sins. The passage also describes the appearance of these demons as being like horses prepared for battle, with riders wearing breastplates and helmets. They are said to come forth from the smoke of the abyss and have human-like faces with wings, legs, and claws. Once released, they will torment the people for 5 months, but they will ultimately be destroyed by the power of the saints. It was said that Tartarus was a dark and gloomy place where the fallen angels were chained up for eternity. However, some Christian scholars argue that the Book of Enoch is not a part of the Bible and therefore cannot be used as a source of information about fallen angels. Regardless, the information contained in the book provides an interesting perspective on the subject and should be considered, alongside other biblical accounts. Join us as we delve into the depths of their treacherous actions and the divine retribution that awaited them. They preyed on humans, causing widespread suffering and death. Most Christians are unaware that the Bible actually names some of the fallen angels who were chained by God. According to the Book of Enoch, one of the fallen angels was Azazel, who was responsible for teaching humans how to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplate. Another fallen angel named Samyaza was the leader of the 200 angels who rebelled and mated with human women. These angels were all imprisoned in the same place, which was called Tartarus. It was as if the fallen angels had unleashed a plague upon the earth, testing God's patience to the limit. The Nephilim giants and the fallen angels, who sired them, represent the ultimate corruption that can occur when spiritual beings choose to abandon their heavenly duties and embrace darkness. Their presence on earth symbolizes the epitome of evil, and their punishment serves as a warning to all who would follow in their footsteps. The book of Genesis chapter 6, verse 1-4 tells the story of the Nephilim giants, who roamed the earth in the days before the great flood. The book of Jude, verse 6-7, tells us that the angels who did not keep their proper domain but abandoned their dwelling among the angels, he kept in chains under darkness, reserved for judgment. This passage tells us that these angels were not simply banished from heaven. Instead, they were physically restrained and held captive. This imprisonment was not meant to be temporary. Rather, it was designed to keep them confined until the final judgment. But most Christians do not realize that these giants were not the only ones who descended to earth during this time. Their power and influence are too great to be allowed to roam freely, and so they are kept under tight guard in the darkest depths of hell. In 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4, these angels are referred to as those who have reserved in everlasting chains under the blackness of darkness. This description emphasizes the severity of their punishment. Not only are they trapped in physical chains, but they are also immersed in a state of utter darkness, devoid of any light or hope for escape. The same passage also mentions fallen angels who took human wives and had children with them. This group of fallen angels went beyond the limits of redemption, committing sins so grave that God decided to punish them severely. They rebelled against God's teachings, casting aside their heavenly duties and embracing darkness. And when their nefarious deeds reached the zenith of corruption, they faced an unimaginable fate. In today's video, we unveil the hidden truth about what happened to those fallen angels, who pushed the boundaries of evil too far and ended up chained forever by God. Now let's get into the video. We all know the story of Lucifer, the brightest angel who fell from grace and became Satan, the deceiver. Let's start with the first point. Some fallen angels sinned beyond limits. Their presence on earth caused widespread corruption and violence among the people, leading to the conclusion that God would send a flood to wipe out all life on the planet. No, they wanted more. They lusted after the daughters of men and chose to defy God's command by marrying them. This act alone was considered a serious sin, as it involved breaking the barriers between the spiritual and physical realms. But these angels didn't stop there. By having children with humans, They created beings known as the Nephilim, who were described as giants and monsters. These giants were a threat to humanity, and their existence further corrupted the hearts of men. Now let's move on to the second point. They are still chained in darkness. The fact that these fallen angels are kept in chains suggests that they pose a significant danger to both heaven and earth. It's important to note that while these passages describe the imprisonment of fallen angels, they also serve as a warning to believers. Now let's move on to the third point. The fallen angels are named. Tartarus was a prison that was located in the underworld, and it was used to hold fallen angels and other evil spirits. Now let's move on to the fourth point. These angels are still chained beneath the earth to this day. Regardless of whether or not these fallen angels are still on earth, the belief in their existence and their imprisonment beneath the surface remains a popular one among certain groups. Now let's move on to the fifth point. The fallen angels will be released during the end times. It is believed that these demons will torture and torment the people of the earth for 5 months, causing widespread suffering and death. These angels chose to ignore their divine responsibilities and instead pursued their own selfish desires, leading them down a path of darkness and destruction. Let us strive to be beacons of light in a world that is often shrouded in darkness. And let us remember that our choices today will determine our eternal destiny. So viewers, now we want to hear from you. Please answer these questions in the comment section below. If you want the full narrated script version with cinematic scenes and transitions, then click on the link provided. Thanks for watching.